Hi, welcome back to another video from Insectech's Android Application Penetration Testing course. With this video, we're going to start a new module where we're going to see how to create your own Android applications. Right. So basically, before going to create a new Android application, let's try to understand the basic app structure in this video. So in the next video, we're going to create a new Android application. Maybe you may call you may call it Hello World. Right. So before doing that, let's understand a basic applications architecture or structure. Right. So if you remember in the previous video, we have used unzip command. If not the previous video, maybe one of the previous videos, we have used unzip command against an application and we have extracted the resources or the contents of an application. Right. Now, where are all these resources coming from? Yes, that's a good question actually. So if you have a look at this image, basically this is the name of your application, and src contains all the source code that you're creating, and bin contains the executable file. Assets contain, let's say if you are using anything like probably if you're using a music file, you can actually keep it inside this assets folder. Or if you're using a HTML file which can be accessed from your web view, you can actually place it inside this assets. So assets folder basically is a place where you can place your assets like music, video, or something similar to that. And if you have any libraries, maybe if you are using any third-party libraries, we can actually place them inside this directory. Similarly, any resources like images, layouts, XML files, all these will actually come under this res. And as you can see, Android manifest.xml file is one important file we have discussed, and this is as you can see, this is placed here, and this is the icon launcher. It will of course this will actually be taken from this res folder for your application. So this is the basic structure of your application. So let me quickly open Eclipse and show you the same. So if you see this is challenge 1 application, where you have, this is the application name, and this is where all the source code will be residing. And if you observe, com.ist.challenge1 is the name of the package for this application. Inside this you can actually create all the classes. So in my case I have main activity as well as welcome. So basically we have two classes, and if you see this main activity class, it is actually using a method called set content view, where it is actually loading the user interface activity underscore main, and that is there inside layout, which in turn is there inside R. So what is all this? So basically when we write a program and compile it, it generates r.java file. It will be located inside this gen folder. So if you observe this r.java file, let me show you. So basically this is r dot layout, this is your layout, and dot activity underscore main. If you observe this is what exactly we have written here, dot layout dot activity underscore main. So this is actually a reference to this particular activity underscore main UI. Right. So when you compile that, it will actually generate this particular file, and we are actually accessing it from your program. So all the generated files will be there inside this gen. And these are the libraries and assets. If you place any assets inside this, those will be located here. And then we have bin. Bin actually contains the actual executable, the final APK file, as you can see here. Right. And then we have libs. If you have any third-party libraries, or if you want any libraries, you can actually place them here. And then res, which contains the images. As you can see, this is the icon launcher for this particular application. and we have layout wherein we are using XML file. So all these resources will be placed inside this res, or you can take strings, you can take menus, layouts, or whatever. And then we have Android manifest.xml file, and that's it. So when creating an Android application, what we have to keep in mind is Android manifest.xml file is a file where we need to place all the components. As you can see, this is one activity, this is another activity. So since I have two screens here, as you can observe, I'm just registering them inside this Android manifest.xml file. So when creating an Android application, it is really essential to understand Android manifest.xml file. We have to keep this in mind. Otherwise, when we compile the programs, if we don't register the components or the permissions that we're using, it will give an error, right? So this is one thing we need to remember. And res contains the layout. So whenever you are designing the user interface, you have to create you can actually create the user interface using Java as well as XML. So in our case, we're going to create it using XML. So this is where you can actually create XML files. So layout, which is there inside res, is one important thing that we have to remember, and src, where we are writing all the source code, is another important location. So when developing programs, simple programs, we can say these three are what we are interested in. So in the next video, we'll see how to create a very simple application to print something that you have entered, right? So that's all I have in mind for this video. Thanks for watching it. Thanks a lot.